strategy implementation. Process for implementing strategy in an organization. At the end of this unit, participants will be able to, one, discuss the process of implementing strategy in the organization. Two, explain the factors that determine successful strategy implementation. Take notes. Remember the other time we said you must have multiple strategy, because some of the strategy in the process of implementation may end up either not being successful while the other ones becomes what? Successful. Remember we said the essence of strategy is to see how you can maneuver and have an edge over your competitors. So if one strategy is not working, you move to another strategy. That's why we said what? Strategy implementation, very important. The process of implementing the strategies involves putting managerial objectives, methods, and rules into action across the growth of the program, looking at your financial plans and procedures. One thing you should take note, poor execution of these strategies can lead to organization failure. Poor implementation of such strategies will naturally lead to what? Organization failure. If you don't plan your strategy properly, it will naturally lead to your organizational failure. If you take, for instance, let me make a practical example. In the past, especially those of you that are married, or even those of you that are single, and the process of trying to get one or your life partner, you implement series of strategies, the steps you will take in order to capture her attention. Where you don't implement it properly, somebody takes over. The same thing in an organization. Where you don't implement your strategy properly, it leads to failure, and your competitors will take over. When an organization plans to implement strategic plans, it must address potential challenges. You must address your potential challenges, such as what? The risks of misusing limited capital. You know, your resources are scarce. Remember at the beginning, we said the essence of all this is because our resources are scarce. So you must know how you manage your limited resources. Because once your resources are not being properly managed, it will lead to failure. Of course, again, the potential impact of the organizational reputation if the business fails. It's not just your business failing, but if it fails, what becomes your reputation? And that's why you need to take so many things into consideration in the process of what? Implementing your strategy. Achieving most of this implementation stages boils down with your organization mission, and then the vision of by delivering quality products and services that will always meet the needs of your customers. Consequently, these studies will now emphasize the importance of implementing an excellent strategy to fulfill the overall objectives and goals of an organization. Successful organizations worldwide, like the big organization like Coca-Cola, and even small organizations existing within your environment, like small businesses existing within your environment, if you find them surviving for 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, is because they implement strategic plans to ensure efficient operations. Any organization that you find it existing is because the strategic plans are well laid down and the implementation is done properly to ensure what? Efficient operations. These approaches establish a future vision. You must look into the future. Have a vision into the future to see how you can use your present position to arrive to where you want to go. However, some organizations struggle to comprehend the organization vision and mission. You see why we initially said clear communication to ensure that everybody understand and create awareness among the employees is very important. Because where you cannot even have a clear vision, you don't know where you are going, and you don't know your mission, it will result to failure to deliver the expected services or products. Unfortunately, the management team may struggle to identify all the reasons for the business failures and mistakenly believes that reporting the strategic planning process will yield better results. In most cases, such an approach proves to be what? Ineffective. Hence, it is crucial to implement strategic methods to achieve maximum result. To accomplish this, 5 critical elements must be put into consideration: the people, resources, structure, system, and culture. These factors play a significant role in supporting the strategy implementation in any organization. 1, the human resources. When we talk about the human resources, the people that are working in the organizations that will assist in achieving the result. I always tell people one thing, that the human resources, they are the most important assets any organization will always have. The team must have adequate number of human resources with relevant skills, competence, and not just skill and competence, but people that will be what? Committed in order to bring into fruition the organizational mission. The team, therefore, is a critical part for the success of the organization. When you look at the human resources in terms of their skills, their commitments, and level of dedication, the next you have to consider the next one that says the firm must equally have enough resources, financial resources, and not just the financial resources, but the funding must come at the reasonable time, adequate time. The most significant, the most significant aspect of this, it tends to be the provision of assets. The most significant, the provision of what assets, the things you will use in order to accomplish your organizational mission. Without financial resources, if financial resources is limited, you will not be able to achieve so many things. If you have enough financial resources and you create an enabling environment, then objectives can easily be achieved. 3, all the members of the organization must clearly understand their responsibilities, and they must be accountable for their action. Specifically, supervisors must be appointed to ensure that activities are carried out effectively. Impliedly, there must be effective communications, and goals must be stated, policies must be stated clearly, so that everybody should understand what he is expected to do. Once you do that, you ensure that there is a clear and open communication among the employees. Clear and open communication that will ensure transparency, and the people can now share their different ideas, especially on issues that may affect their progress in the organization. Such open communication allows members to debate, argue, and support issues. Make sure that there is a feedback mechanism. If there is no feedback, if communication is only downward and not upward, then communication will not be complete. Of course, finally, the organization should make its workers feel essential and contented in their particular responsibility. They must feel that you must make them feel that they are important, they are essential. There is no worker in the organization that is useless. Every worker has a role to play. And their ability to coordinate all these people by clearly telling them their areas of responsibilities will either determine success or failure in the implementation of strategy in your organization. If these factors are put into consideration and once it is implemented properly, then you can be sure that you're already on your pathway to success. Thank you very much.